the silence in the bridge of the UHS Retribution was absolute. Admiral Sarah Chen stood before the tactical display, watching the red dots that represented the Council's defensive fleet arrange themselves in what they probably thought was an impregnable formation around their capital world of Nexus Prime. 500,000 survivors of humanity floated in the darkness between stars, spread across 1,000 dreadnoughts that shouldn't exist. "Ma'am," Lieutenant Commander Reyes reported quietly, "we're receiving transmission requests from the Council fleet. They want to negotiate." Chen's laugh was bitter. Negotiate? They atomized 8 billion people, and now they want to talk. The memory played in her mind like a broken recording. Earth, blue and beautiful, suddenly blooming into nuclear fire as the Council's planet-killer weapons found their mark. The official justification had been clinical. Humanity is proven too aggressive for peaceful coexistence. Preemptive action is necessary for galactic stability. They had underestimated human paranoia. Project Exodus had been dismissed by the Council as typical human overreaction seed ships launched into the void just in case. What they hadn't known was that each ship carried more than refugees. They carried the compressed manufacturing capabilities of entire industrial worlds, quantum foundries that could transform asteroids into weapons of war. "Admiral," came the voice of Commander Torres from the UHS Vengeance, all dreadnought captains reporting ready. "The foundry ships have completed the final batch of planet crackers." Chen nodded. The past 18 months had been spent in the dark between galaxies, building, planning, grieving. Every survivor had lost everything: family, friends, their entire world. But they had also gained something the Council had never expected from a primitive species: absolute, cold-burning purpose. "Open a channel to the Council fleet," Chen ordered. The main display flickered to life, showing the bridge of the Council flagship. Admiral Kethvar of the Hegemony stood rigid, his 6 arms clasped behind his back in what passed for a diplomatic posture among his people. Behind him, Chen could see representatives from dozens of species, the same ones who had voted unanimously for Earth's destruction. "Admiral Chen," Kethvar began, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into cold mechanical words. "We are prepared to discuss terms for your surrender. The Council is willing to offer clemency to survivors who—" "Stop talking," Chen interrupted. The alien's mandibles clicked in surprise. "You had your chance to negotiate. It was called diplomacy. And you chose genocide instead." Around Nexus Prime, the 1,000 human dreadnoughts began to move. Each ship was a testament to human ingenuity, born from desperation's sleek, predatory vessels that looked nothing like the crude colony ships that had fled Earth. They had been forged in the fires of loss, built with technologies that pushed the boundaries of physics. Dr. Elizabeth Hawking's voice crackled over the comm from the science vessel UHS Newton. "Admiral, the Council's shields are exactly as our intelligence predicted. Standard quantum barriers, maybe 3rd generation at best. Our phase weapons will cut through them like tissue paper." The Council had grown complacent in their millions of years of technological supremacy. They had perfected their defenses against known threats, never imagining that a species they considered barely evolved could innovate beyond their understanding. "This is madness," Kethvar transmitted, his voice now carrying notes of uncertainty. "You cannot possibly hope to defeat the combined might of 3,000 worlds. Stand down, and we can reach an accommodation." Chen stepped closer to the display. 3,000 worlds. That's what you said when you decided to murder my species. Every man, woman, and child on Earth. My daughter was 7 years old when your weapons turned her to ash. The bridge around her was filled with similar stories. Captain Morrison had lost his elderly parents in the first wave. Commander Patel's twin sons had been playing in a park in Mumbai when the sky caught fire. Every human on every ship carried the same burden: the same driving need for justice. The human concept of proportional response, Chen continued, clearly needs updating. She nodded to her weapons officer. Launch the phase torpedoes. The space around the human fleet suddenly filled with streaks of coherent energy, not the crude fusion weapons the Council. Explosions blossomed across the Council fleet as their ships designed to fight conventional wars encountered weapons that operated on principles they had never encountered. The human dreadnoughts pressed forward, their own shields shimmering with adaptive technology that learned and evolved with each enemy shot that struck them. Impossible, Kethvar's transmission crackled with static as his flagship shuddered under impact. These weapons, they violate known physics. We've had 18 months to get creative, Chen replied coldly. Turns out, when you have nothing left to lose, you're willing to try things that more civilized species wouldn't dare. The Council fleet was breaking apart. Ships that had dominated star systems for millennia were being carved apart by human innovation born from pure hatred. But Chen wasn't watching the tactical display anymore. She was remembering her daughter's laugh, the way she had tried to catch fireflies in their backyard the night before the sky burned. Admiral, Lieutenant Commander Reyes reported, enemy flagship is attempting to retreat. No? Chen's voice cut like a blade. No retreat. No quarter. No mercy. The UHS Retribution surged forward, its engines pushing it beyond safe parameters. The ship's AI warned of structural stress, but Chen didn't care. She had watched her world die. She had buried her family in the cold vacuum of space. The human fleet descended on Nexus Prime like a plague of metal locusts. The planet's orbital defenses, mighty installations that had protected the Council's capital for 10,000 years, crumbled under the assault of weapons that rewrote the rules of warfare with each shot. But Chen had learned something from the Council's example. She opened a planetary broadcast channel. Citizens of Nexus Prime, her voice echoed across the world that housed 6 billion aliens. Your leaders chose to solve disagreement with genocide. They taught us that in this galaxy, might makes right. We are grateful for the lesson. The planet-killer weapons launched from the human fleet weren't the crude nuclear devices the Council had used on Earth. They were entropy bombs, weapons that increased the rate of atomic decay in matter, causing entire continents to simply stop existing. As Nexus Prime began to crumble into its constituent atoms, Chen felt something she hadn't experienced since Earth died: satisfaction. Not happiness that emotion had died with her daughter, but the cold, sharp satisfaction of a debt finally paid. Admiral, Commander Torres's voice came over the fleet channel. Nexus Prime is gone. What are our orders? Chen looked at the tactical display showing the locations of the Council's remaining 3,000 worlds. Each dot represented billions of lives, entire civilizations that had voted for humanity's extinction. We proceed to the next system on the list, she said quietly. All of them. Every